10 super glues, 1 maker, and at least 2 fingers stuck together before we're done. Welcome to the Super Glue Olympics, the glue games for 3D printing. Representing Team Precision Loctite Control, from the Deep Kraken Bond, the People's Champ Gorilla Glue, the underdog that no one believed in, Harbor Freight Super Glue, along with some other amazing glues, Star Bond, the original Super Glue, DAP Rapid Fuse, JB Weld Super Glue, BSI Maxicure, and Crazy Glue. Here's how it works. We have 5 brutal events designed to test each glue's strength, toughness, and tolerance, all on 3D printed bike handles that we've used for our glue testing previously. But this time we used PLA Plus for our bike handles, because I keep hearing in the comments that these tests are not tough enough. And the 5 events are the snap test. This is a classic. The twist test, that's another classic on the channel. But we have 3 new events: the drop test, the heat test, and the water test. These new events are designed to push the super glues even further. Now here's how each event is scored. For every event, gold is 3 points, silver is 2 points, and bronze is 1 point. And if it fails spectacularly, 0 points and eternal glue shame. At the end, we're going to total up the scores and find the ultimate super glue champion. Think of it like the Olympics, where the athletes are sticky, brittle, and keep getting their fingers stuck together. Alright, let's get sticky before I fuse myself to my workbench. So here's how each event is going to work. For each event, we have 20 bike handles. We're going to glue 2 of them together and then perform whatever test it is. Now, this is the snap test, so we're going to basically we're going to glue all these together, give them time to cure, label them for each competitor, and then we're going to perform the test after they've cured. Let's get started gluing these together, and I promise I will spare you the details of me gluing and labeling over 50 sets of bike handles together. Let's start labeling and gluing these together. Should probably put on gloves for this, but we'll see what happens. Also, there's no mechanical connection, so there's no key and cut. These are just basically the 3D print, flat, fused together. So it's a true test of the glue's strength. Crazy glue is super tiny. We're gonna have to be very careful with how much we use for each test. Okay, and there we have it for the first round. Let's give this some time to cure, and then we're gonna perform our snap test. So remember, anytime you're doing any of these tests, to wear your protective gear. Okay, so the first test we're doing is our snap test. Basically, the idea here is we're gonna put force on this, bending down until either the glue breaks or the PLA breaks. So we're gonna start from Loctite and go down the road to Crazy Glue. Okay, Loctite passed. Look at that. So the bond held. Next is Kraken. Gorilla Glue. Oh, did you guys see that? Gorilla Glue totally failed. Totally failed. And it's completely dry. Harbor Freight. Star Bond. Super Glue. DAP. JB Weld Super Glue. BSI. And Crazy Glue. Oh my god. That barely, it's completely dry. Barely took any force. Barely took any force. So it looks like Loctite, Star Bond, JB Weld, all got gold. They all performed really well. Now, Kraken and DAP actually performed really well, and BSI. But here's why they didn't get the gold medal. Let me show you guys this up close. So basically, I mean, I'm on the fence with Kraken, but do you see how it's sort of, because Kraken was really thick and nice, but it sort of overflowed a lot. Now, maybe that's my fault. And you see here, like these. So BSI and DAP, you know what? I'm gonna give them each. See how like it really, look how much that overflowed. It's like dripping down there, right? Look at the drip. And I tried to put on the same amount. Kraken definitely expanded out and dripped past also. You know what? I'm gonna keep the silver rating for Kraken and for DAP and BSI while they held. I'm gonna say they're, you know what, for DAP, for BSI and Kraken, I'm going to give them both a silver. For DAP, I'm going to give it a bronze. I mean, it really shot out past. Okay, let's look at our tally. So after the snap test, Loctite, Starbond, and JB Welder in the lead. Kraken and BSI are a close second, with DAP following third. And the next test is the twist test. Now, this is designed to test torque. We're finding out who can handle twisting without giving up, because in the real world, parts don't just break at once, they fight you first. So first up is Loctite. Gold. Next up is Kraken. Oh, Kraken, total fail. Next up is Gorilla Glue. Gold. Harbor Freight. Gold. Now, this is one of those tests where a lot of glues do pass. Starbond. Superglue. DAP. So those were all gold. The only one that failed so far was Kraken. Oh, and this was JB Weld. JB Weld failed the twist test. Next up is BSI. Gold. And Crazy Glue. Gold. Okay, so we only had 2 failures, the JB Weld and the Kraken. Let's look at our totals. After the second event, the twist test, we still see Loctite and Starbond performing well. BSI and DAP are sitting in the second and third place. The next event is the drop test because, let's be honest, we all drop our prints. Sometimes it's gravity, sometimes it's us, sometimes it's both. First up, Loctite. Gold. Next up, Kraken. Gold. Next up, Gorilla Glue. Gold. Next up, Harbor Freight. Gold. Next up, Starbond. I wonder if these tests are not good. Gold. Next up, Superglue. Gold. Next up, DAP. Oh! Fail. Complete failure. Next up, JB Weld. Gold. Next up, BSI. Gold. Next up, Crazy Glue. Gold. So we only had 1 failure with the DAP. Let's check out the scoring. After our third event, the drop test, we see almost everyone got gold except for DAP, dropping DAP into the last spot. We still see Loctite, Starbond, and BSI up at the top. Okay, next up is the heat test. We're testing these glues at temperatures your PLA would never want to see. So how this test is going to work is we're going to heat up the bond where the super glue is, and then we're going to try to snap apart the actual PLA and see if the bond breaks or the PLA breaks. Up first, Loctite. Oh, we can see the PLA started to melt, but the super glue held. So, gold. Next up, Kraken. Okay, gold. Next up, Gorilla Glue. Okay, gold. Harbor Freight. Gold. Starbond. Gold. Superglue. Gold. DAP. You know, it's interesting. DAP is not performing quite as well in this event as I would thought it would have. Fail. Look at that. It came completely apart. So far, DAP's the only one to fail. JB Weld. Fail. BSI. Gold. Actually, you know what? I am going to go back. I'm going to readjust some of these scores because you know what? It's sort of unfair. Like, I'm looking at this BSI now, right? And even though it passed, right, there is still a lot of dripping. So I'm gonna downgrade BSI to a silver. I'm gonna downgrade Kraken to a silver because once again it overflowed a lot. I'm gonna downgrade the super glue to a silver. I think that was it. Yeah, silver. Silver for all those. So Kraken, we're downgrading to a silver, super glue, and BSI. Last one, crazy glue. Oh, okay. Crazy glue totally passed. I'm sort of proud of you, Crazy Glue, after the last few tests. That was pretty good. So, let's look at our scoring. After our fourth event, the heat test, we still see Loctite and Starbond tied at the top. Harbor Freight has now moved into second, and we see a tight race between the next three competitors, Harbor Freight, Gorilla Glue, and Crazy Glue. Next, we're on to our last event. So some glues claim to be waterproof. We're going to find out which ones we're bluffing. These glues are each going to dive into our water, and we're going to leave them there for 24 hours. The theory here is super glue over time gets broken down by water. Now, we only have these in there for 24 hours, so I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but let's find out. First up, Loctite. Totally passed. Gold. Kraken. Oh. Okay, it partially held, partially broke. I'm going to give that, honestly, I'm going to give that a silver. Gorilla Glue. Oh my God. Totally failed. Harbor Freight. Oh, interesting. Harbor Freight. It looks clean. There's a little bit of runoff, but it broke. It held. That's a tough one. I'm gonna give that a gold. I'm gonna give that a gold because there's not enough runoff to mark it. Next up, Star Bond. Oh, look at that. Same thing as the Kraken. It partially failed. It looks like some of the water got in there, and it partially failed. I'm going to give that, let's see, there's not much spill. I'm going to give that a silver. Super glue. Total fail. We don't even need to discuss that one. DAP. Let's see how DAP does. Oh, that's pretty... Oh, shoot. I thought that was going to break. Fail. DAP failed. The water test. JB Weld. That looks pretty good. Oh, oh my. That was actually the worst one. And I'm a fan of JB Weld. That was actually the worst one out of... like maybe out of all of them besides the super glue so far. Now here's what I'm talking about with the BSI. See how it just blew out? I tried to keep an even amount, but that just completely blew out. So let's see how it holds up. BSI. Okay, totally passed, but because of this blowout, I'm gonna say a bronze. Okay, crazy glue. Okay, that was absolutely the worst. Forget about what I said about super glue. Forget about what I said about JB Weld. What's crazy is you could see, look at this. You could actually see the glue. It looks like it froze in time. Look at that. Definitely crazy glue. Absolutely the worst one. Absolutely, hands down. Hands down. So let's look at the scores for this event. After our fifth test, the water event, we see Loctite taking a true lead past Starbond. Starbond is second, followed by Harbor Freight in third, and we saw some of our early lead competitors drop lower in the rankings. So we have one last event, the pocket test. Let's see how much each one of these super glues may hurt or not hurt your pocket. Let's find out how much each super glue costs per ounce. We're using Amazon as our baseline for cost, except for the Harbor Freight super glue, which came from them. As you can see, the price range of glues is pretty extreme, from lowest of around $5 per ounce, all the way up to $35 per ounce. So you're going to want to take cost into consideration when you choose which super glue you purchase. But here's what we learned. Not all super glues perform the same. Some of them bond like steel, and some of them just crumble apart. The ones that probably surprised me the most were JB Weld and Kraken. These are two products I use regularly, but mainly with JB Weld, I use the epoxy, the two-part epoxy for plastics, and that is one of my favorite items to use when bonding bigger 3D prints together. I've also used Kraken pretty extensively. The only thing is with Kraken, I've always used it with its accelerant. And using activator may have been what really has made the difference, because Kraken has always been a really solid superglue for me. The dark horse was Harbor Freight, which did really great in this contest. Also, BSI. I've never used BSI before, but I was really impressed with how it performed. So here are our winners. Third place was Harbor Freight which actually performed like a beast. And one of the nice things about this was on the lower end of the price per ounce at only $7.13 per ounce. At number 2, we had Star Bond. Now, I knew Star Bond was going to perform well. It's a product I've used in many projects in the past, and it's always been a really solid super glue for me. And number 1 is Loctite. No surprise there. Loctite always seems to perform really well in every glue test we've done where we've actually used Loctite. Biggest problem with Loctite is the cost. The superglue is on almost the highest end. It is roughly $27 per ounce. And we really can't forget BSI, which actually performed really well in comparison to the other superglues. So you're probably asking yourself, hey, if you had to pick one out of all these superglues, which one would you use? For me personally, based on today's test, I would go with Star Bond. It didn't fail one time during the test where the Harbor Freight did, and its cost per ounce was only around $7, which was a lot cheaper than the way Loctite performed, even though Loctite got gold in pretty much every event we performed. Star Bond had 1 silver in the water test. Other than that, it performed excellent. So hands down for me, based on today's test, I would pick Star Bond. And that concludes the 2025 3D Printing Glue Games. For more on 3D printing, DIY, and maker projects, make sure you like and follow Make or Build It. And remember, keep on making. Oh, and remember, the strongest bonds are forged in the toughest test.